What's happening with Nic Olandria right now is absolutely wild. Olandria just landed one of the biggest moments in her modeling career with Alexander Wang, and instead of celebrating, the internet decided to lose its mind over a professional photo shoot. We're talking about Nic and Olandria, the Love Island USA power couple that took over Season 7, and somehow a simple modeling gig turned into the most unnecessary drama of November. Taylor and Cierra could never cause this much chaos, and they actually tried. The Love Island Huda community has been through it all, but this hit different. The dating show that brought us Nic Olandria also brought us fans who apparently forgot how the fashion industry works. But before we dive into this mess, if you're here for all the Nic Olandria tea and you want to stay updated on Ace content covering Nic Olandria's journey, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Trust me, you'll want notifications on for this one because the drama never stops, and I promise to keep it real with you. Plus, if you don't subscribe, Olandria might hold hands with another model and you'll miss my breakdown of why that's completely fine. Alright, let's get into what actually went down and why everyone needs to take several seats. November 7th hit the Nic Olandria fandom like a freight train. Olandria stepped out for an Alexander Wang promotional shoot, and she looked absolutely incredible. We're talking full CEO energy, fierce makeup, hair on point, outfit that screamed high fashion. This wasn't some casual Instagram content. This was the big leagues, the kind of opportunity every model dreams about. Alexander Wang isn't just some random brand. It's one of the most respected names in fashion. And getting tabbed for their campaign means you've officially arrived. But here's where things went sideways. Olandria wasn't alone in these photos. She was paired with Asher London Williams, a professional male model. And they were doing what models do, holding hands, walking through the streets, looking absolutely stunning together. Asher was carrying an Alexander Wang bag, Olandria was decked out head to toe in their clothes, and the whole thing was clearly a coordinated PR moment designed to showcase their brand's latest collection. This is textbook fashion marketing, the kind of stuff that happens every single day in the industry.
Yet somehow, the internet saw these photos and immediately jumped to the most dramatic conclusion possible. Social media exploded with people questioning Olandria's relationship with Nic, accusing her of moving on, speculating about romance with Asher, and generally treating a professional work commitment like it was some kind of romantic scandal. The comment sections turned into absolute chaos, with people losing their minds over what was obviously a job. The reaction was so intense, so completely over the top, that it honestly felt like being surrounded by people who have never seen how modeling actually works. This wasn't some secret rendezvous. This wasn't Olandria sneaking around. This was her literally doing her job, the career she's been working toward, the success everyone claimed they wanted for her. And instead of celebration, she got suspicion and drama.
What made it even more frustrating was how obvious the whole setup was. You could tell this was Alexander Wang PR from a mile away. Professional photographers, coordinated outfits, a male model literally holding the brand's signature bag like a billboard. This wasn't trying to be subtle or hidden. It was promotional content, pure and simple, designed to get people talking about the brand. And it worked, except people were talking about all the wrong things. The discourse online became genuinely depressing. Comments flooded in, questioning everything from Olandria's loyalty to whether Nic Olandria was even still together. People were analyzing hand-holding angles like they were investigating some kind of conspiracy. The energy shifted from excitement about Olandria's career milestone to paranoia about her personal life, and it happened so fast that it felt like whiplash.
Here's what everyone seems to be forgetting. Alexander Wang doesn't care about Love Island ships. Alexander Wang doesn't build campaigns around reality TV couples. Alexander Wang is a luxury fashion brand that works with professional models based on their look, their presence, and their ability to sell clothes. They saw something special in Olandria, recognized that she's having a major moment right now, and decided to put her in their clothes. That's a massive compliment and an even bigger opportunity.
But Alexander Wang also has standards and professional relationships with models they've worked with before. Asher London Williams isn't some random guy they pulled off the street. He's an established model with his own career and portfolio. The brand paired these two professionals together because they look good together, because they can sell the aesthetic Wang was going for, and because that's literally how fashion campaigns work. There was never going to be a scenario where Alexander Wang said, "Hey, Olandria, why don't you bring your boyfriend from that dating show to be in our luxury campaign?"
That's not how any of this works. Freaky Water, sure, that's a smaller beverage brand that might be flexible about featuring a couple. Kahanes, absolutely. They built content around Nic and Olandria's relationship. But we're talking about Alexander Wang here. This is high fashion, big budget, carefully curated imagery designed to maintain a specific brand identity. They're not making exceptions for reality TV relationships, no matter how popular they are. The idea that Olandria should have somehow declined this opportunity or insisted on bringing Nic along shows a fundamental misunderstanding of how the fashion industry operates. Models don't get to dictate who they work with on major campaigns. They get hired to do a job, they show up, they work with whoever the brand pairs them with, and they deliver the results the creative team is looking for. That's professionalism. That's the career Olandria has been building.
And let's be crystal clear about something. The way these photos looked, the chemistry, the hand-holding, the intimate positioning, that's intentional. It's supposed to look romantic. It's supposed to look chic and sexy and aspirational. That's the entire point of fashion photography. The goal is to create images that make people feel something, that make them want to be part of that world, that make them want to buy those clothes. If the photos looked stiff and awkward, the campaign would be a failure. Professional models know how to create that energy with anyone they're paired with. It's a skill, a talent that takes years to develop. You have to be able to look comfortable and natural with someone you just met, to create the illusion of connection and chemistry, to sell the fantasy the brand is creating. That's what Olandria was doing. That's what Asher was doing. They were both doing their jobs, and they were doing them well. Now here's where the double standard becomes absolutely glaring. Before Love Island, Nic was modeling for major brands. We're talking Guest, we're talking Prada, we're talking fragrance campaigns. And in those campaigns, he worked with female models. There are photos out there of Nic holding hands with women, holding waists, posed in intimate and romantic ways, all for the sake of selling products. That's what the jobs required, and he delivered. But here's the thing. Back then, Olandria wasn't in the picture yet. Nic wasn't a household name. Most people didn't know who he was or care about his personal life, so those campaigns came and went without drama, without speculation, without thousands of people flooding comment sections to question his loyalty or intentions. They were just seen for what they were, professional modeling work. Fast forward to now, and suddenly the rules are different. Nic's past modeling work gets a pass because it happened before the relationship became public. But Olandria did the exact same thing. Working professionally with a male model to promote a brand somehow becomes evidence of something suspicious. The logic doesn't track. Either professional modeling is acceptable or it isn't. You don't get to apply different standards based on timing or gender. If fans were okay with Nic holding another woman's hand for a product campaign, they need to be okay with Olandria holding another man's hand for an Alexander Wang campaign. The situations are identical. Both are professional commitments. Both require creating chemistry with a stranger for the camera. Both are completely normal parts of a modeling career. The only difference is perception and the unfair expectations being placed on Olandria specifically. This double standard doesn't just hurt Olandria emotionally. It has real professional consequences that could impact her career trajectory. Think about what happened to Asher London Williams after these photos went public. His social media got absolutely bombarded with negativity. Nic Olandria fans flooded his comments, some supporting Olandria and attacking him, others supporting Nic and attacking both of them. His content became a battlefield for a fight that had nothing to do with him. If you need a quick laugh and some sanity in your feed, go ahead and subscribe now, because apparently we all need reminders that models are allowed to work with other models without the world ending. Hit that button, join the rational side of the internet. Asher didn't ask for any of this. He took a job, worked professionally with a colleague, and suddenly found himself at the center of relationship drama involving two people he probably doesn't even know personally. That's not fair to him, and it sets a dangerous precedent for anyone else who might work with Olandria in the future. Other male models are going to see what happened to Asher and think twice before accepting projects with her.
Imagine being a model or a modeling agent and seeing this situation unfold. You're offered a campaign with Olandria, a beautiful and talented model who's having a major moment in pop culture. Under normal circumstances, that would be an exciting opportunity. But now you have to consider the baggage that comes with it. Do you want your client's social media to become a war zone? Do you want to deal with thousands of angry fans who can't separate professional work from personal relationships? For some people, the answer is going to be no, and that directly hurts Olandria's career. The irony is that the people creating this drama probably think they're protecting Nicolandria or showing loyalty to Nic. But what they're actually doing is making it harder for Olandria to succeed in her chosen career. They're creating obstacles where none should exist, turning routine professional opportunities into controversial moments and potentially causing brands to hesitate before working with her. That's not support. That's sabotage.
And it gets even more frustrating when you consider the progress Nic and Olandria had been making with their fans. Just days before this controversy, things were starting to feel different. Nic had been doing Snapchat panels where he opened up more than usual, referring to Olandria as his partner and girlfriend in ways that felt genuine and comfortable. The Greek Fest video that got tucked away but eventually shared showed them having fun and being themselves together. It felt like they were finally figuring out how to navigate this relationship in the public eye. After everything they went through during and after Love Island, all the speculation and pressure and scrutiny, they seemed to be finding a balance. They were starting to let fans in a little more, sharing glimpses of their connection without sacrificing their privacy entirely. It was the kind of evolution everyone had been hoping for. But then the Alexander Wang photos dropped, and all that progress evaporated. The immediate assumption of wrongdoing, the conspiracy theories, the attacks on Asher, all of it sent a clear message to Nic Olandria. No matter what they do, no matter how professional and appropriate their behavior is, a focal portion of their fan base is going to find something to freak out about. They can't win. Think about it from their perspective. Olandria books one of the biggest opportunities of her modeling career, something that should be celebrated and promoted. But instead of being able to share that excitement with her supporters, she has to watch as people who claim to be fans question her entire relationship over it. She can't even post about a professional achievement without it turning into personal drama. That's exhausting. And for Nic, imagine seeing your girlfriend's career milestone get twisted into something negative. He knows how modeling works. He's been in the industry himself. He understands that working with attractive people is part of the job, that chemistry for the camera doesn't mean chemistry in real life. But now he's watching as thousands of people act like Olandria did something wrong by simply doing her job. He can't defend her without drawing more attention to the drama. He can't ignore it without people thinking he's bothered by it. There's no good option. The reality is that Nic Olandria is now trapped in an impossible situation. If they share more of their lives, fans will find reasons to criticize or worry. If they pull back and maintain privacy, fans will complain about not getting enough access. If Olandria takes modeling jobs with male models, which is literally unavoidable in her career, fans will question the relationship. If she turns down opportunities to avoid drama, she's sacrificing her career to appease people who shouldn't have a say in her professional decisions.
This is why so many celebrities and public figures eventually create massive distance between themselves and their fan bases. It's not that they don't appreciate the support, It's that the support comes with strings attached that become unbearable. Every decision gets scrutinized. Every photo gets analyzed. Every professional relationship gets questioned. At some point, it becomes easier to just keep everything private and let people speculate from a distance than to try to maintain any kind of genuine connection. That's the trajectory Nic Olandria is being pushed toward, and it's completely unnecessary. The Greek Fest video that Olandria was hesitant to share, saying, "Check back with me in a few weeks," that hesitation makes so much more sense now. She knew that anything they share publicly would be picked apart and turned into drama. She was trying to protect their peace, and the Alexander Wang reaction proved she was right to be cautious.
Nic's recent willingness to be more open in his Snapchat content, that's probably going to scale back now too. Why bother being vulnerable and sharing personal details when fans are going to respond to Olandria's professional work with suspicion and negativity? The message being sent is clear. Openness leads to drama, so privacy becomes the only logical choice. And that's a loss for everyone. Fans lose access to the couple they claim to support. Nicolandria loses the ability to share their journey with people who were there from the beginning. The relationship itself faces unnecessary external pressure that wouldn't exist if people could just respect professional boundaries. Nobody wins in this scenario. What makes this whole situation even more absurd is how quickly Olandria moves in relationships. Anyone who's followed her journey knows she's not the type to end one relationship in the morning and start another at night. She's thoughtful, intentional, and values genuine connection. The idea that she would risk her relationship with Nic over a photo shoot is ridiculous on its face. But that's what people were implying with their reactions.
Olandria doesn't owe anyone an explanation for taking a modeling job. She doesn't need to clear her professional commitments with fans before accepting them. She's an adult with her own career, her own goals, and her own right to make decisions about her work. The expectation that she should somehow factor in fan reactions before booking jobs is completely unreasonable. And let's talk about what fans claim they wanted versus how they reacted when they got it. For months, people have been saying they want to see Olandria succeed as a model. They've been hyping her up, saying she has what it takes to make it in high fashion, celebrating when she books jobs. But apparently, that support comes with conditions. She can succeed, but only with specific people. She can model, but only in ways that make fans comfortable. That's not real support.
Real support means celebrating when someone you care about achieves their goals, even if the path to those goals looks different than you imagined. It means trusting that they're capable of maintaining their personal relationships while pursuing professional opportunities. It means understanding that their job sometimes requires them to do things that might look intimate or romantic, but are actually completely professional and meaningless beyond the context of the work. The Alexander Wang opportunity represents everything Olandria has been working toward. It's validation from a major fashion house that she has what it takes. It's exposure that could lead to even bigger opportunities. It's proof that her time on Love Island didn't define her, that she's a legitimate model with real potential in the industry. And instead of that being the story, instead of celebrating a massive win, the narrative became about unnecessary relationship drama.
Before we wrap this up, if you've made it this far and you're nodding along thinking, finally, someone with common sense, go subscribe right now. We need more rational voices in this space, and your support helps me keep making content that cuts through the nonsense. Plus, I promise to never freak out about professional photo shoots. That's my brand. Looking ahead, the hope is that there's more to this Alexander Wang collaboration than just one photo shoot. Maybe there's a full campaign coming. Maybe there's a partnership that extends beyond these initial images. That would be incredible for Olandria's career and would cement her place in the high fashion world. But even if this was just a one-time PR moment, it was still valuable and important.
The bigger question is whether fans can learn from this situation and handle future professional moments better. Because this won't be the last time Olandria works with a male model. It won't be the last time she's photographed in intimate or romantic poses for a campaign. If people can't get comfortable with that reality,
every future job is going to become another controversy, and that's not sustainable for anyone. Nico and Olandria deserve to pursue their individual careers without their relationship being questioned at every turn. Nic can work with female models. Olandria can work with male models. Both of those things can be true without threatening what they have together. The only thing that actually threatens their relationship is the constant external pressure and drama created by people who can't separate professional obligations from personal choices.
The Alexander Wang situation should have been a celebration. It should have been a moment where everyone came together to support Olandria's success and recognize how far she's come. Instead, it became another example of how difficult it is to maintain a public relationship when fans refuse to respect professional boundaries. That's disappointing, frustrating, and ultimately harmful to the couple everyone claims to support. Moving forward, the discourse needs to mature. Fans need to educate themselves on how modeling actually works, recognize the difference between professional chemistry and personal relationships, and trust that Nic Olandria is strong enough to handle their own relationship without external interference. Until that happens, moments that should be wins will continue to feel like losses, and the distance between Nic Olandria and their supporters will continue to grow.
The Alexander Wang photos weren't a scandal. They were a success. Olandria looked stunning. The campaign got attention, and a major fashion brand put their faith in her abilities. That's worth celebrating, not questioning. Asher London Williams is a professional who did his job well and doesn't deserve the hate. Alexander Wang created promotional content that accomplished exactly what it was supposed to accomplish. And Nic Olandria remains solid despite the unnecessary drama trying to create cracks where none exist. So here's the final takeaway. If you love Nic Olandria, if you genuinely support them as individuals and as a couple, prove it by letting them work. Let Olandria take every modeling opportunity that comes her way without turning it into relationship speculation. Let Nic continue building his career and being proud of his girlfriend's achievements. Give them space to be professionals in their respective fields while trusting that they're handling their personal relationship just fine without commentary from people who don't actually know them. The next time Olandria posts about a campaign, try responding with "Congratulations" instead of suspicion. When she's photographed with another model, try focusing on how good she looks and how well she's representing herself instead of analyzing whether the poses are too intimate. When opportunities like Alexander Wang come along, try being excited that she's reaching new levels instead of worried about who she's working with. That's the kind of fan base that actually helps someone succeed. That's the kind of support that makes public figures want to share their journey instead of hiding it. That's what Nic Olandria deserves, and honestly, it's what they've earned through their authenticity and the genuine connection they've shown both on Love Island and after.
November has been wild for Nic Olandria Nation, and this Alexander Wang moment will probably be one of the most talked about situations of the month. Let's hope the lesson learned is that professional work is just that, professional, and that real support means trusting the people you claim to care about to make their own decisions. Because at the end of the day, Nic Olandria doesn't need protection from photo shoots. They need space to thrive. If you're still here and you enjoyed this breakdown, or even if you're mad at me for calling out the overreaction, subscribe anyway. We can argue in the comments, but at least you'll be notified when I drop the next video. Hit that button, turn on notifications, and let's navigate this Nic Olandria journey together with a little more logic and a lot less panic. That's it for this one. The Alexander Wang situation exposed more about fans than it did about Nic Olandria, and hopefully, moving forward, everyone can do better. Support their wins, trust their relationship, and remember that models work with models because that's literally the entire job. It's not complicated unless you make it complicated. Nic Olandria is fine. The relationship is fine. The only thing that wasn't fine was the reaction, and that's something the fan base needs to work on. Until next time, keep it rational out there.